have to reload it so that it'll actually play.
Probably.
Hola,
Oh, we had one.
JC.
Of course we have JC. I was gonna be all disappointed if it's like no JC. We'd be like, what? At least JC will be there. Make sure if you are here, yes. Hi. Comment so I know you're here. That will come into play later. But yeah, just put a comment so I know that you are here and watching this. Yay. Notes.
I'm watching.
This. I'm getting close with my shirt. That will come into play later. They get the more complex shirt for this class. Oh, you didn't forget this time.
Oh, you've already got 1 thumbs up. Like Spike, like Spike.
Like Spike. Oh. How's everybody doing? I should probably stand so my face is on the actual screen. I get a little
Ashley
too excited.
Mendoza said loser.
Well, that's because Ashley Mendoza only knows one word. That's her entire vocabulary. What has everybody been doing to keep their brains active and keep themselves feeling all right during pandemic panic? What about you, JC? You in particular, what have you been doing?
Natalia says homework.
Homework? Of course you have. What's up? Doing homework.
Is it because we are HL that we get the complex shirt?
No, it's actually because that's the one I grabbed when I grabbed the shirt number 2. Bunch of punks. Still, who's been doing something besides homework? Is that all you've been doing? Is homework? Just one person's been doing homework. Everybody else.
2 people have been doing homework.
Everybody else is sitting there just with drool going down their mouth, staring at the wall.
Asleep.
I mean, that's probably what Ashley's been doing.
Eating.
Eating? Oof. Did JC answer yet? 'Cause I asked him directly.
3 people doing homework. Carla did a puzzle.
Oh, well, yeah. Carla. I love doing puzzles. That's like, Anna and I, that's our thing. That's our thing. I think it's a good idea, like, with all these places shut down, you're not doing your normal routine of going to school. I think one of the things that's easiest to do is to fall into this routine of wake up, eat something, watch YouTube, play video game, stay up real late. Oh, who wrote something? Wrote a lot there.
I have been doing homework, taking long showers, eating, and staring out my window listening to Billy. Ooh, Billy Eyelash. Oh my god.
Who's that?
Zanny. Juan Rodriguez.
JC.
JC.
It's JC. Don't call him Juan. He'll get all emo on you.
Okay,
But he's
Juan.
just like setting up the
Lana,
window.
Cage the Elephant. I forgot they made music. Rihanna, Etz, music.
All right, like it. We've been cleaning, going through stuff. Exercising is important. Exercise, brain, body. You feel better. Today's a beautiful day. I do encourage maybe when you're done with this, go for a walk, go for a little jog. Just enjoy the weather, enjoy the sunshine. Even if it's just sitting outside, wherever, just get outside for a couple minutes. Just try to change up what you're doing. Vary up. Put a little variation in your day, because if you're just doing the same thing over and over, it's going to get really boring really quickly, and you're going to get really annoyed. So we don't have, I mean, there's a little bit of stuff class-wise that we want to go through about the direct class. I want to answer questions that you might have. I've gotten a few questions emailed to me. But there's some structural kind of procedural things I want to go over first. So first thing, as we know, the shutdown was originally scheduled to end and have us back in class next Tuesday, right? But obviously, we're that's not happening. Obviously, as of right now, we're scheduled to come back the 21st, which is 3 weeks after that. The first thing that I want to throw out is I do want to mention that we are still going to honor spring break. So what that means is from the 6th to the 10th, there will be no homework requirements from your teachers, right? At least for me, I know. There will be no homework that you're required to do at all. So the 6th through the 10th, that is your time, kind of do whatever. I mean, however, the rest of the time, so next week, and then starting on the, what is it, the 12th, I'm going to be doing at least 2 classes a week. One of the classes will definitely be, possibly both of them, but at least one of them will definitely be here on YouTube. And then I'll possibly be doing another one on Zoom. The only reason for adding Zoom as opposed to just YouTube is that I can do like a PowerPoint. We can actually go over the PowerPoint together where I just mirror the screen for you. You have my computer screen in front of you. We can go through it, everything step by step by step. I feel like that just makes that a little bit easier. So that's something definitely next week. We will be doing 2 classes a week. The other thing is today you will have a quiz that will go live. I think it's scheduled to go live at 1 o'clock, even though as JC emailed me the first time I put it, I just sent it live immediately, which is not what I intended to do. But you're going to want to take that quiz today, and then every week that we have class, we will be having a quiz at the end of the week. Now, the important thing for you with this quiz is, you might be saying, but Mr. Lai, they said you can't negatively impact my grade, so I don't care about your quiz. I ain't gonna do it. Problem with that is this. It can positively impact your grade. Several people have asked me about extra credit, which is something I don't like to do, but I will in this case. Now, the way that I'm gonna do it is the quizzes, I'm gonna add the score up and average it out. That's how many extra credit points you get. So if you don't take a quiz, you get a 0 for that week, and it drops your average considerably and really hurts the amount of extra credit points you can earn. The quizzes are not going to be accepting answers the entire time. It'll probably be 2, maybe 3 days, and then after that, the quizzes are going to disappear. Will I have a way for people who don't have internet access to make up the points? I will, but we don't have to discuss that right now because you are watching this video, thus you have internet access. Ha ha ha.
Does the quarter end this Friday?
Does it matter? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm not sure because here's the thing. And the reason I say it doesn't matter is because you're high schoolers, it's not like your grades get locked in. Anyway, and then when you extrapolate that out, we're not going to be doing report card pickup, obviously, because we can't even go in the building. So.
Will we have our regular math SAT practice test?
Ooh, I like this. Do you mean what exactly did they write?
Will we have our regular math SAT practice test?
Okay, I'm not sure who asked that.
Itzel.
So one thing, I'm not exactly sure how everything is going to go with SAT stuff. Are we going to be adding SAT practice stuff? Yes, we're going to add SAT practice stuff. What we will be doing is I will be covering the skills much like I would in class. This will start next week. I will be adding stuff. There will be more explanation probably than there would normally have been in class. And then I will have very similar to what we would do before. And if you remember at the beginning of the year, I think it might have been last year. I don't remember. But it'll be an online formative assessment, basically. I gotta be careful, you're moving the thing.
Yeah.
It'll be an online formative assessment. You'll just click. It'll be a quiz, 3 questions. Of course, the effect on your grade is going to be significantly different than what it would have been. But the nice thing is you'll be able to see automatically how well you did, and then get a better feel for what you need to practice on. The reason for that is, at this point, I don't know what's happening with standard SAT schedule, but I do know that at some point you will take the SAT, right? I mean, that's just a given. Whether it's May, June, July, August, I don't know, but at some point you will be taking the SAT, and when you take the SAT, it's still my responsibility to have you as prepared as possible to do the best you can. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Does anybody have any questions about anything else? SAT stuff? Oh, I almost forgot. There was one important thing. I have gotten a lot of questions asking me about doing the work. Do I need to do the work? Should I do the work? I don't want to do the work. Here's what I want to stress to you, and I stressed this to the 11th grade SL in the video, and I will stress it to you as well. You are going to be responsible for the stuff that we're covering, right? That's the reality of the situation. And when I say that, I mean either we're going to do it all now, get through it, wonderful, or 21st, we get back in school, we find out nobody's done anything, so we have to cover all this stuff over again, and that means the entire next section of learning ends up getting pushed back. You have to do it over the summer, right? What I had said before is I was trying to lessen the amount of work that you would have over summer break. This is a way that I'm trying to make sure of that. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, if I'm going to have to do it over the summer, I'm going to have to do it now. What does it really matter? The way that I look at it personally is right now, everything's closed. Right now, you can't go hang out with your friends in a large group. Right now, you're almost confined to your house, right? So now is the perfect time to do the things that you really don't want to do, right? Like homework. Homework isn't something we're like, yay, do it now. Because when summer comes, one, it's going to be beautiful outside. Two, places are going to be open again. We're going to get through this, and places will start to open. Beaches will be open, restaurants, movie theaters. The places you want to go with your friends will be open, and you'll be able to do that. So don't push the work off and give yourself more stuff to do when there's things to do. Do it now when there's, not much to do besides walk around in your pajamas staring out the window and eating Captain Crunch. It's simple. Beautiful. I just dropped my notebook. Okay, since we got through that, we've discussed the procedural stuff. Do we have any questions about the work that we did? Because I know all of you did your work. Do we have any questions about the work, any questions about notes, any questions about the learning that we did from the last online session up until today? Any questions?
I'm confused on finding ratios in unlinked genes.
Unlinked genes. Okay, so with unlinked genes, you're talking about the ratios like with the P's where it's like the 9, the 3, and all that, I'm assuming. So this is one of those times I'm going to keep moving because I have my laptop up here and I want to show certain things. Maybe I'll grab it so you don't have to just stare at my shirt. This is one of the times that using Zoom would have been beneficial, just so I can show you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So with unlinked genes, first, do we understand what unlinked genes means, or what unlinked genes are? Do we understand that principle? Can somebody kind of describe unlinked genes to me?
We've got another question.
Well, let's get to this one first, and then we'll get back to that question. Does anybody know what unlinked genes are? Okay, we'll show that first. So with unlinked genes, I was gonna draw, but instead I'll use this. I use this little clay chromosome. Here's Ayana's chromosome. She made this.
Isn't it like traits that are found farther away from the chromosome?
Well, not necessarily farther away from the chromosome. So if we're talking about unlinked, right? Here's two separate chromosomes, right? We'll ignore the crossing over that happened. Pretend it didn't happen. So if we're talking about we're talking about unlinked genes. We're talking about this one has a chromosome up here for, it looks like I'm doing something terrible. This one has a chromosome right here for hair color or eye color. Let's say eye color. And this one over here has another chromosome for eye color, but they're different, or another allele. But they're on different chromosomes. These chromosomes aren't connected. Linked, in a linked gene, does this chromosome show up, Ayana?
Yes. Unlinked genes are genes that are on different chromosomes and are sorted independently of each other.
Who said that?
Roll.
Because that's correct. So with a linked gene, can we see this, Anna?
Yes.
Okay. So with a linked gene, this might be A. So this is allele A. And this is allele B. They're on the same chromosome. With unlinked, it's exactly how, who described it?
Roll.
Raul. It's exactly how Raul described it. Thanks, Raul. They're on different chromosomes when they're unlinked. So that's the first thing that we want to know. And it's a more complex setup for your Punnett square. Because now, instead of just saying my allele combinations are capital A, capital A, capital A, lowercase a, and lowercase a, lowercase a. Right? These are my first possible combinations, but now I'm also going to add B to this. Right? I'm also going to add B. So now, in addition to having capital A, I can have, right? Now I can get B involved for my genetic combination, and then I can still have. So it expands the possible combinations. It's basically just math, right? If I have one coin and I'm flipping it, then my odds of getting heads, my total possible outcomes are 2. I can get heads and I can get tails. That's all I can get. 2 possible outcomes. If I add another coin, I've now got more outcomes, right? I can get heads, tails, tails, heads. I've really increased the number of possible outcomes. And that's what's happening with unlinked genes. With unlinked genes, we're increasing the amount of possible outcomes. And so that means we're going to have these really expanded ratios. So you really need to just draw the Punnett square out. And as you draw the Punnett square out, you'll practice it. You'll get used to it. Because when we first look at it, we'll look at it with 2. But as we get later on it, especially with HL, you'll look at 3, 4, and more. Other questions about that or about the
Okay, so
database questions? Yes. Okay, so
how do you find the possible gametes of the generations that are like R, R, Y, Y, R, R, Y, Y, or R, R, Y, Y, and R, Y, Y.
Okay, hang on. Let me look at this on. I'm going to YouTube right now on my laptop
You can
to
just read it right here.
see the. Well, this is easier to just do it this way to see the question that was asked. Make sure I've got my volume down. Okay, unlinked genes are genes that are okay. So how do you find the possible gametes of the generations? The possible gametes of the generations? You're not So, this is really hard to erase.
I am laughing. Period.
Who is laughing?
JC.
JC, you created this. Okay, so RRYY, right? So when you're talking about the possible gametes, all you're thinking about is if you are looking at a parent plant, right? If the parent plant is RR YY. Now the possible gametes for this parent, they can give R and R. They can give capital Y and they can give lowercase y, right? Well, so that is not a whiteboard. Wait. Okay, well this is a whiteboard, but this is a little tiny thing, right? I need a large.
The thing in the back.
Oh, the thing in back? The thing in back is not a whiteboard. Wait till the end of the video and I'll show you what it is. It's pretty ghetto. So JC, do you understand, and everyone else, that these then would be, these are the possible gametes that can be given, right? And so then when you talk about the possible gametic combinations, this parent could give a capital R, right? It could give this. It could give a capital R and a lowercase y. It could give a lowercase r, capital Y, lowercase r, lowercase y, right? Oh, so you don't do that combining with the, what is it? Two parents, just with the one parent first. So once we do it with the one parent first, you know what the possible combinations are. So if these are the possible combinations for this parent, right? Then these I would put on the top of mine, and then if it's if both parents are heterozygous, then these would be the two allele possibilities that I would put, right? So I'd have these, and then on the other side, and then make my Punnett square. Does that make sense? All right. Do we have any other questions about linked, unlinked? Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
What's happening on the small whiteboard?
So on the small whiteboard, what I did is, if I was going to be finding the possible offspring, right? Let me roll this back. So if I had a question where it was, I was going to set up a Punnett square, and I knew that I had two heterozygous parents, right? So the first thing that I would do is I would identify what heterozygous meant, and in this case, if we're using R and Y, right, this is what it would give me. Now, the first thing that we always want to do is we want to figure out what the possible gametes are, because that's how we'll set up our Punnett square, based on the gametes. So I know that this parent, their possible gametes for R are capital R and lowercase r. The possible gametes for Y are capital Y, lowercase y. But they can also give, we'll do it this way, but then they can also have capital R with lowercase y, and a lowercase r with capital Y. So these are all the possible gamete combinations that this parent could give. So if I want to find a ratio, then I could go over here, 1, 2, 3, yeah, let's call that 4, R, Y, but I'm going to do it this way first. Y, R, Y, R, Y. Right? Make sense? And now I can do the same thing. R, Y, R, Y. And then you just fill in your Punnett square. So what I did is I found the possible gametes over here, and then on this side, I created the Punnett square, and that's how I'm gonna find the ratios of the possible offspring. This was one of the questions. This was covered a little bit, or it was covered in the text reading. I do understand that sometimes.
Would they be like allele?
Yeah, these would be, yeah, right. So these when I say the gametes, right? So these are the different alleles. So this one is I think the R is for roundness, and the Y is going to be a yellow or a green pea, right? And so this is the allele. The R is the allele for roundness. The Y is the allele for color. And what I'm doing here is I'm understanding that I can look at multiple alleles at the same time, even if they aren't linked and they don't influence one another, right? So there's no influence. It doesn't necessarily mean if you have R capital that you have to have capital Y. It doesn't mean that. These are not linked, and they're completely randomly assorted. When they're randomly assorted, it means that we're going to have more possible combinations, because each allele can be either capital, dominant, or lowercase recessive, right? If they're independently assorted, not resorted. If they're independently assorted, you're going to be able to get both combinations in this dominant or recessive form. So you're going to have a more robust table. So if we go to it, and let me switch markers so we have different colors going on. Colorful. So then if I go to it and I just start to fill it out here, I'm going to have capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R, capital Y, lowercase y. Right?
So to determine if they are linked or unlinked, do you use the chi-squared test?
No. No. So you'll know if they're linked or unlinked. The chi-squared test, if you haven't done the chi-squared testing, let's put a pause on the chi-squared testing, because I feel like the chi-squared testing, in fact, what we're going to do with that is we're going to say we will go over chi-squared testing upon our return. So when we're all back together, we'll go over chi-squared testing, because I think I know I put it in for the lab, the penny lab for today. So if you didn't do the penny lab for today, let's go ahead and put a pause on that. The reason being, I feel like the chi-squared testing, from some of the feedback I've gotten, it's a little complex, especially without me being there to show you when we use it and when we don't, because linked or unlinked is going to be, when they don't have any influence over one another, and they're not on the same, more when they're not on the same gene, right? If they're on the same gene, they're linked, or on the same chromosome. So here, right, this is one chromosome, and this one has our chromosome for color, say, okay? So this is the chromosome for color. This is where this comes from, right, in our P plant. And then over here, this one has our chromosome right here. This one has our chromosome for roundness over here, right? They're on two separate chromosomes. They're not linked together. So that allows us to have this assortment. That's all that means. There are some times when they're on the same chromosome with certain things, right? Because there's a lot of alleles on any given chromosome. But chi-squared has nothing to do with that. Do we understand just this part of it? Just this part? Or does anybody have any questions about the unlinked genes? Okay, since I'm feeling like we don't, what we're going to do is get through the work that we have on, yes, so to determine if they're linked or unlinked, okay. So what we're gonna do then on Monday is or Tuesday, we'll take a vote. Would you rather do a short class session where I go over a PowerPoint with you? It'll probably take 15 minutes. Would you rather do that Monday or Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday? Because I don't want to do it as part of Wednesday, because I want to stick Wednesday as this.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I got one vote. You know what? You automatically the best.
2 Tuesday.
2 Tuesdays. Okay. So Tuesday. Thank you for saying
3.
Tuesday. 3
4.
Tuesday. Okay, so I'll send you a link for Tuesday. What we'll do is we'll do it on Zoom. Ayana, you didn't have to download Zoom, right?
I did.
You had to download it to do it on your computer? Okay. Well, you might have to download something, but I'll send you the link. All we're going to do really quickly is we'll go over this PowerPoint. The nice thing about Zoom, I don't know if any of you have used Zoom for a class yet. Ayana can tell you. I know JC, I know you've got it because it showed up on my, when I made the account. One of the things it'll allow you to do is allow you to talk to me, actually verbally speak. But it'll also allow me to, like I said, screen mirror, so you can, you can go ahead and you can actually, we can look at a PowerPoint together. It'll make things a lot more easy to explain, so we can make sure that we've got this down, all right? Let's make sure that we take the quiz today. Take the quiz. Take the quiz. The quiz. Oh, because we're running over time. Whatever, we can do what we want. Make sure you take the quiz today. You know, you don't have to give a full description of my shirt. Just describe in some way, shape, or form for the last question of your quiz what my shirt looks like. So, do we do the no. With the Hybrid Penny Lab, people who didn't watch it, yeah, go ahead and do it. But so much of it is chi-squared testing, and that seems to be something that I think we need a little bit of a pause on until we discuss it further. So we'll pause on the Hybrid Penny Lab. There's other ways that we can describe that part of it, and then we can move through. Why did you switch shirts? Why weren't you paying attention earlier? Because I said why I switched shirts. Each class, their own shirt.
So just take the quiz for today?
Yes. Today, take the quiz. It'll show up at about 1 o'clock. Get that done. That's how I'll know that you are getting your work done. And I can give points to everybody who is participating. And I can also track who's actually doing what they're supposed to. And,
Alonzo made their brother an egg.
well, I'm glad you made your brother an egg, Alonzo. Way to be a good sibling.
That's why I was not paying attention.
Well, I apologize for getting on your case. All right, so we're a little over time.
Can you do a cooking vlog soon? Hey, you're gonna show GC the whiteboard.
Yeah, you know what, JC? First, I'll show you why not the whiteboard, and then I think Ayana and I could do. Well, you would jump in on the cooking vlog, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta go to the store and get a couple more things. We will, cooking with the Lay family. We will do that. We've got
with the
some.
boys.
Look out for some more story time coming. Now, to amuse you, so when I found out that I was going to have to do some kind of online class just to provide learning opportunities for you, I kind of panicked. I was like, what do I have? How can I, I don't have a board of any kind. And what had happened was it last year, Anna?
Oh,
Over the summer?
over the summer in July.
Yeah. So last summer in July, Ayana and her brother, Carlos, went with their mother to go see the play Cats. And as they were walking back, I think they had taken the train, I don't know.
It was at the train platform. It was on the ground.
There was a large plastic poster on the ground, and instead of either leaving it there or taking it to their mother's house, they brought it here to my house. And it actually came in handy because we are using it as our whiteboard, and it's not for the movie, it's for the play, but let's see, I got it. Oops, making a mess here. This is what it is, JC. Cats. That's what it is. That's what you get. This is a screenshot for you. Ooh. Okay, so get the quiz done. Remember what my shirt looked like. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to story time, to videos about cooking. Don't you hate cats? Well, I really don't like them. I really don't like them. That's why I'm not happy that they brought this here. Because they're jerks. That's why they did it.
Let the memory live again.
My children are not good people. They're not. I miss you guys. Because you are. You are wonderful people. But my children, not. All right. So I will see all of you on Tuesday for a wonderful Zoom class. Not Zumba. That'd be weird. I'm no good at it. Have a great day. JC, stop it. See you guys later.